Good day to you. My name is Peter Jordan, and I welcome Chanel back again. Thank you, Chanel, for joining us. And in this session, it's going to be an interesting session because this session is going to be about the actual process of, we've described everything up to now about how it is that we take on various things about ourselves and how these things control us, and et cetera, et cetera. So in this session now, we're going to talk about what the tissues are and what it is that you attract to yourself as a result of that, and what has been the cost of each. Okay, and I'm going to suggest some costs, and then Chanel, if you've got other costs or other things that you find that you attract on each one of these things as we go through, feel free to add in your bits, because I'm sure that the people who are viewing this are going to find it that your input is valuable, because yours would be the same as everybody else's. So to kick off, the first issue would be is, why do people do this to other people? Okay, one thing. And how this triggers you off is that you are perhaps a young child, and this has now happened to you, and as the pressure of the whole event sort of happens, etc., is that you find that you are stuck there, and as you're stuck there, you can't go away. You are small in size. Oh, sorry. You're small in size compared to the perpetrator, who's much bigger than you, and so you find is that you give away your power to other people. Okay, and in this giving away your power, then you become powerless, and the perpetrator becomes powerful. And as soon as you got that kind of situation, then it is that you are in a weaker position. So this would be you, and this would be the perpetrator. Okay. Now, because you give away your power to others, is that whenever you're involved in a confrontation of some sort, you are much more inclined to give away your whole power to others. And so the process that you attract to yourself, so this would be the first tissue, that is that you give away your power. So you take a tissue and overlay it. Okay. Now, what Chanel is doing is that the cushion represents Chanel as a young girl when this happened to her. Okay, one thing. So the first tissue. Now, remember that we spoke about that these tissues are the issues that it is that you attract into your life. Situations like where it is that you find that you give away your power, or that you're in a powerless type situation. Have you noticed, Chanel, that you attract to yourself situations like that you're always feeling less than other people?
Yes, and you're unaware. And now you can turn this around. But it's there.
Yeah. Okay, another thing. So what has been the cost to you in terms of, you going through life and finding that other people, your perception is other people are always more, more powerful than you? How have you found, how does this sort of control you?
Giving away your power, because this is what you were, this is what happened to you. So now automatically this is what you attract. So this is how you think things should be, giving away your power, because you're unaware of you doing that.
Do you find that in the process that many people take advantage of you, or used to take advantage of you?
Yes, because you think you need to please people, and to keeping peace, you have to do something for someone. You have to do something for someone. So you give up your own time, and you give up everything for yourself, and it's not about yourself, it's always about other people. because you think that is automatically right, and then through doing that, you give away your power.
Exactly. So now you bring up another very interesting and yet another tissue, is that I need to please people.
Oh, because somehow that's what you feel like is what you're supposed to do.
Yeah, okay. So I need to please people. So that would be another one. Okay, great. One thing. Okay, so the next issue is that, well, why didn't somebody protect me? Okay, here I was in this situation. It is, well, here I am as a child, and it is that somebody is taking advantage of me, and there was nobody there to protect me and to prevent this from happening to me. And when there's nobody there, that is that should be looking after you, okay, and they weren't there to look after you, then what happens to you in your belief in the people around you, in your belief in society, in your belief in the family, and so on? Okay, this is often.
No? Sorry. You attract people in your lives that can't be there for you. Especially with a boyfriend or a partner, then you end up. I think I was with 3 different people that couldn't be there for me. I think you attract the wrong people, because this is the lesson you have to learn. So
Yeah.
you think that you feel more and more alone, and you withdraw more and more and more, because no one was there when you feel like no one was there when you really needed someone, and it kind of feels that forever. But actually, you must realize that it's you're too vulnerable back then to think about it's all about you. Everything starts with you, but you don't think about that when you're younger.
Exactly. Okay. And what about you trusting the world around you and
No,
trusting people?
I thought the world was out there to get me. I thought that, I was looking for something to hit me. I was looking for somebody to say something wrong about me, or to judge me, or, okay, what is this next person gonna do wrong? Yeah, that's the kind of, but it's subconsciously. It's not like you go to a person and say, oh, okay, what do you want to slap me? No, it's
Yes.
subconsciously, and somehow you attract it. Silly.
Exactly. Okay. And this is what happens with the tissues. So there's another couple of tissues that you need to add there, or issues. And the one is that you look for people that are not available to you.
Yes.
Okay. And the other one is that you don't trust that the world can be there as a supportive issue to you.
Yes.
Okay. Another thing. Yeah. So look at the cost of you going around there, and it is that you've had now several partners on this thing, okay, and they're all distant to you, and they all cannot be there for you, and you can't trust them, and you go from one crisis to the next, and so on, okay, on the thing. That's the power of how these things attract to you, okay. So the next one for us to perhaps talk about, and remember that none of these are in any particular order, and none of them is more important than the other, but they collectively have a huge impact on you. So this next one I want to talk about is, well, when this thing is happening to you, it kind of like on the body, it feels good that it's happening to you, but in this feeling good of this thing happening, is that you feel, this is not right. This is not the kind of thing that should be happening now. This is not something that you really want. Okay. Now, the thing is that, well, if it feels good, and then when good things happen to me, then somehow I'm always expected to turn out into a bad way. Okay, so when anything good comes my way, then it is I look and see where's the catch. What is this thing? How is this thing going to turn negative in some way? What is going to happen? And so you're always looking for this other sort of negative thing. And somehow the belief system, the tissue is that I'm not entitled to have good things because it always comes with a hook of some sort. Yeah?
Mm-hmm. Yeah. You feel like, okay, wait, something's going good. Okay, so you kind of feel that you don't deserve, somehow you feel like you don't deserve something, and when you start growing with Peter, things fall into place and you attract the right things for you, not the wrong things anymore as you grow, as you process. But then it going too well, then you think to yourself, holy moly, you're waiting for something, you feel like you've got to give something up because everything's going so well, you've got to keep something up. Like I was in love for the first time and it was so good, but as it was so good, it was so bad for me because I was in not a good relationship. And I had to give up my heart. It broke into pieces and I had to do it together forever, you know? That somehow you don't feel good enough because, okay, where's the hit? Where's the, you know? You don't feel good enough for it to go good with you. That's stupid, man.
Exactly. Okay. So the next one to chat about is that, well, when this is happening to me, it's all about them and not about me. Okay, it's about you and them, and part of this is about pleasing them, but also there's another part in this thing about how it is that other people, them and their feelings is much more important than me and my feelings.
Because you wanted to keep, I think as a child, your mother, don't do this, do that. Okay, so if I do things right and I do things for other people, there's peace. Nobody's yelling at me. Isn't that maybe where it comes from?
Yeah, exactly. Okay, but it's that everybody else and their demands, what it is that they want, what is that they want to do, what is where they want to go, whatever, all of that is more important than you.
You give a lot away of yourself. You adapt to a person, and you give up who you really are because you feel the need or you feel the want or you feel you have to change yourself just so that person can accept you, kind of thing.
Exactly.
Then you lose yourself even more and more and more and more and more and more without realizing. Only afterwards.
Yeah, exactly. So that's yet another tissue. Okay, one thing. So the next one is that when this is happening to me, I am not allowed to say no, or I can't say no, or I can't say please stop, or I can't say I don't want to do it, or whatever it is. I have great difficulty in saying no.
Yeah, I remember that, but I don't really remember why. I had difficulty to say no because I feel guilty.
Exactly. And
because
that
I
is,
felt
okay.
things for other people.
Yeah, and this is also where it leads to this big problem about the inability to put boundaries in place. Because what often happens is that people then put a barrier between you. So this would be the barrier between you and people rather than a boundary. Okay, so the boundary would be something that it is that when you need it, it comes up and it does its job. When it's done, it goes back down again. Okay, whereas the difference between that and the barrier is that this is what you do to put up to protect yourself. Kind of like you're saying no, and you cut yourself off from the world. And this is this is one of the big things that I found as one of the major problems with people that have been sexually abused, is that them and their ability to put boundaries in place and to understand what are boundaries, as opposed to not understanding what are boundaries.
I think it's very difficult for us because we feel guilty to all of a sudden think of ourselves. And you feel like you're being ugly, but not ugly, but all of a sudden now you're changing, and now you want to tell me that all of a sudden it bothers me that I'm actually telling you you're always leaving your tea bag in your cup of tea when you're done. But every time I have to wash the dishes, it just plops into the water. So I'm going to tell you, please, if you're done with your tea, just put your tea bag into the bin, because it's going to build up and it's going to build up and it's going to build up, and then you're going to come across the wrong way. Can't you just flip and do this? Yeah, you see, because all of a sudden you're in a relationship, and now all of a sudden you want to say, but this is bothering you. But doing it subtle is it's not easy, because now you have to do it, and now you're so angry, and you have to do it in emotion, and it takes a long time. Don't be scared of boundaries, because it takes a long time to say and communicate it in a receiving safe way, then coming across too hard. It was really hard for me, Peter.
Yes, and it's hard for everybody. It's hard for everybody to say that this is what I would like you to do, or this is what I want you to do. Okay, and that you almost feel that you don't have the right to actually say this thing. Okay, and to ask for this for them, and also when it is that people feel that they just have certain rights over you. Okay, that it is that you are just expected to comply with this or that or etc on things. So that whole thing about boundaries and the inability to put boundaries, this is a huge topic which we will cover in a future session. But it's important to recognize now how difficult it is for you to say no. So that would be another issue. Okay, so we've spoken a bit about the pleasing and you having to please others and always having to do things for others. Okay, now when it is that you have this problem about saying no, and I think this is where it is that you feel that you are perhaps not good enough, or you're not worthy, or you're no good, or that that you're a hopeless case, or something along those lines. Did you find that?
I think it's because you do things for other people because it's actually what you want, because you feel like nobody can be there for me, so I'll be there for other people. But it doesn't fix it. It just makes you more empty. It just you just give away even more power, and that's why you also probably another subject why you become powerless, and then people can totally control you, and then you isolate in a relationship. It's terrible.
It's a terrible circle that you get yourself stuck into, and you worry, and you're always trying to figure out, because you're up here, you're always trying to figure out about, well, how to solve this problem.
Yeah, you become anxious, and anxiousness goes into depression, and then your mind just runs away with you because you've given all your power away.
Yeah.
And the first thing you told me is that, Chanel, nothing is wrong with you. You are completely normal. And I'm telling you, I'll never forget that day because I had to hear
it. Yes, it is, because all of us have got these functions that are built in us, but it is the tissue that now starts to override everything in us. I mean, if you just look at that poor little Chanel, that whole cushion, and just look at everything that she's already suffering under. Okay, and then for how many years has this been that you've had to suffer under all of this burden already. And there's still more to come. Okay. It's quite a while. Okay. So the next issue that I'd like to talk about is that, well, when all of this is happening to you, and people are putting this pressure on you, then how do you feel, or are you able to express your feelings about things other than through anger? Because this is a nice way that it is that you would use the whole sort of anger process, get really angry so that people will then hear you. But just to formally express your feelings about, well, I don't like it if you treat me that way, or you speak to me this way, or something.
You have outbursts like a small child.
Yeah, you have the outbursts, okay? But it is that you aren't, where I'm going to with this is that the tissue is that I'm not allowed to express my feelings.
That's how you feel, yes.
Yeah.
And that's a lot of pressure. That's very, very, very heavy to carry. It's very heavy to carry.
Okay, yeah. And so that would be another tissue, that I'm not allowed to express my feelings of things, okay? Take this a bit further, because I'm not allowed to express my feelings. This is where it is that you shut this whole thing down in the whole process. Okay, you shut the heart, and when you shut the heart, this is when it is you move up into your head. And now it is the head that starts to tell you how you must feel, what you must think, everything. The head wants to control everything from here, but the head also wants to control what happens down here, okay, in your heart area, in your feelings area. Your head will tell you how it is that you must feel, how it is that you must feel about this or feel about that kind of situation, even though it goes against what it is that you are internally feeling. Okay, so that living up in the head. Sorry, this is where it is that you all learn how to live in your head, and how to analyze, and how to think, and how to process all of this information. And this is where it is that you start thinking about, well, what did I do wrong for this to happen to me? Where did I go wrong? What happened? Okay, and you start to go back and you start to analyze every little thing that happened in the past. Okay, everything. And then what you do is you now take that ability of analyzing, and then you bring it into every other situation around you, because and this would be the next one, where it is that, well, when something goes wrong, somehow it is my fault. When something goes wrong, somehow it is my fault, and it is somewhere I did something wrong. Okay, on a thing. And of course, this is a direct thing, is that, well, what did you go wrong for this whole situation, or what did you do wrong for this whole situation to be attracted to you? Okay, and then, what did I do wrong? How did I dress wrong? Did I behave wrong? Whatever it is, it's something. And so whenever something goes wrong, it is, this thing is triggered in you. This is, I must have done something wrong somewhere. Okay, and so another big one there. And then there's, well, this has all happened to me, and now if I have to tell somebody that this happened to me because it was somebody in the family who did this to me, then it is, nobody's going to believe me.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, nobody is going to believe me. And so when nobody believes me, or there's a big fear about nobody believes me, then it is also, I have difficulty in expressing myself to other people because it is that I'm not sure that they're going to believe me. Okay, another thing, yeah. The other big issue here is that, well, I'm busy dating people, and all it is that they want from me is sex. Okay, they just want this sex part of me, and they don't want me for me. They just want me for what's in my pants. Okay, nothing. So people don't want me for me, they just want me for sex. And this becomes a huge problem is that, well, then how do relationships work? And what are relationships and how do they function? And where does sex fit into this whole relationship problem? And it's a very confusing thing because the whole process is it's everything physical. Okay, and what we have discussed before is that a whole relationship doesn't start on the physical side. A relationship starts as a heart-to-heart connection. It starts as a feelings connection. And then as our feelings connection grows more and more on that, then it is that the first stage is that our interaction now becomes heartfelt. The next stage is now it takes on heart and meaning. And then the stage after that, this relationship now becomes meaningful. And then out of that meaningfulness over a period of time, we're talking time, yeah, okay? Then out of that comes a process called trust. Okay, because of the heart-to-heart interaction, because I understand how you feel and you understand how I feel, out of that is just naturally born a trusting process. Okay, but it is you guys struggle with the trust, and so you struggle with that, and you struggle to even get to the heart-to-heart connection. Okay, now when it is that we go and we reach the stage of trust, and there's this thing, then from there emerges this thing called love. Okay, and then this is where we want to make this connection between people. Okay, we want to make it physical then, because the physical side is the expression of our feelings of something, as opposed to just a physical thing. Okay, one thing, right? You want to have any comment on that?
Wow, yes, that just takes you back from here when in the incident. This is why I just figured out this is why I was in the wrong relationship and I isolated, because I thought that this is the kind of relationship that it is. I'm only good enough for my body. But then I realized that I didn't know how a relationship works until I met you. I didn't know the steps and my part in it, because this is what I believed, so this is what I attracted. So I attracted chemistry, and I thought I can build a relationship on chemistry, and it didn't last. And I gave my everything. I gave up. I became powerless, and I isolated, and I thought the world ended. And after that, when I met Peter, he taught me how a relationship is supposed to be, and then I actually experienced it. And here I am, 7 years in a marriage.
Well done. Yay. Well done. Okay. Yeah. Yeah, no, it's not easy. It's not easy. It needs a lot of work for this to happen. Okay, so now the next one, and this is a strange one. And this one is that, well, when all of this is happening to you, the whole sexual abuse happening to you, then there comes a thought inside of you. It is that actually I don't want to be here. I don't want to be involved in this. And when I don't want to be involved in this, this is when it is that we separate from our body. And when we separate from our body, we go and park somewhere up there at the ceiling kind of level. Okay, and this is a process where that we call is that you become excarnate. It is when you get born, you get incarnated. Okay, when this happens, you excarnate out.
I actually remember reading it.
Yeah, and when you excarnate out, it is that you park yourself up there. Okay, and then it is, well, whatever happens to the body happens to the body, and it cannot affect me. And when I'm up there, then it is I feel really, really safe. You wanted to say something?
Yes, I remember that while something was happening, I think I was 9 or 10, and it was something like, I can't scream. I can't scream. I'm going to wake everybody up. I can't do this and I can't do that. And then I hear him coming in and I'm thinking, okay, what am I going to do? So the next, every night, I think, what am I going to do next time? I'm going to scream next time. I'm going to do something. And then when it happens, you don't do anything. But then you think, as in, you take yourself there, as in, this is not happening. I'm erasing this. This is not happening. This is not happening. And that's how you do it. You visualize that this is not happening. I'm erasing it. It's not happening. It's not happening. And I think it's so powerful, and you are so young, that you actually took yourself out of your body.
Yes.
It's amazing.
Okay. Yeah, it is. And then, but the problem is when you're up there, then it is you become the observer of life and not the participant in life. Okay. When you're up there. Sorry?
Elaborate what you mean by that. I understand, but I think it's difficult to understand.
Okay, so when you are the participant in life, then it is you are present in your body, and then you are engaging in life. When it is that you're out there, you're always looking around, and when you look around, you stand on the sidelines and watch things happen. You stand on, you're not part of the team, you're not part of the crowd, you're not part of everyone. You're always sitting in a position, always sitting somewhere in the corner, perhaps, where you are feeling a little bit safe, that you can then look at. Sorry?
You're withdrawing more and more and more.
Exactly, yeah. Yeah, you withdraw, and then it is you become the observer of everything that is going on. And of course, all of this happen now, you're in your head, and now you start to analyze, and you start to think, and you start to, okay, all of these things are linked together. In the next video, I'm going to teach you about how to come back into your body. But at this stage, it is important for you to realize what it is that you do. Okay, that it is that you leave. Now, I just need to explain this leaving part. In psychobabble speak, we call this about you being disassociated. From a spiritual point of view, we call this is when you excarnate from the body out in there, okay? And when I take you through the process about bringing you in, you will notice and you will actually see and feel this on him. Also, just to explain that this is something that we all do every night. Okay, is that every night when it is that we go to sleep, we leave our body, and there's like a connection between us, our body, and okay, and this connection is called the silver cord, and we all leave every single night. Okay, and we've all been through the experiences where it is that some noise or something has happened, and you find yourself falling back, and then you wake up and your heart is beating, and you look around and you say, what's going on? What's going on? Okay, on the thing. That is you coming back in. That is you coming back in. Okay, so this is a natural process. But the problem is that you guys learned how to do it during the day. Okay, and when you learn how to do it during the day, that's when you excarnate, and that's when you're up there. Now, when you're up there, and the thing, it becomes very difficult for you to function properly in your body. Things like you become forgetfulness, or you struggle to do things, or you're not quite coordinated. Okay, there's always some kind of issue or some kind of struggle of some sort. You want
Yes,
to say?
like it's little things really. You still kind of think there's something wrong with me, but there's not, you know, like ADHD and short attention span, and don't really want to finish this book. You kind of shattered. You kind of like begin with something and don't finish it. You know, it's like you are jittery. You can't be. You have to be busy all the time.
Yes.
And you can't just be present. You can't just lay on the couch and be in this moment. It's like it feels like something is chasing you all the time. It's kind of like that, but that's what Peter's trying to say, is that's how you feel when you're present in your body, because we've done this.
Exactly. Okay. Now, the last issue I want to talk about is that if you just have a look at all of those tissues on that cushion, all of those tissues on little Chanel, okay, and look at the burden that she is carrying. It's huge. And there's plenty of them, okay, one thing, yeah. So now, to add to all of this is that, well, when this is happening, it is that there is a sense of shame that this is happening to me, okay? And it also can lead to the bit about me feeling dirty, or feeling in a way that people can see this on me. So when this little girl, is that, okay, this has now happened to you, and then the next day it's just that you look at this, and then you're always perhaps trying to pull down your dress, or trying to pull down something, or cover yourself up or something, so that people cannot see this thing on you. And it's this sense of shame, or the sense of guilt, or perhaps the sense of being dirty in some way, okay, that is really and there's a lot of shame in this, that this has happened to you. And many people are very sensitive about saying that that this has happened to them in the past. I've had many clients come and talk to me, and they will tell me that this is the first person they have ever told that they were sexually abused was to me. Okay, they never told their partner, never told anybody else, because of this deep sense of shame. Yeah, you wanted to say something?
People run to substances to cover it up, pick up weight, do all kind of things. They run to substance to protect themselves, to something to run to hide our mask, or, you know, as you say, cover yourself, or just feel jittery, just feel like somebody's looking through my clothes, but it's not really. It's subconscious.
You bring up a very interesting thing, that is that many women and guys too. Remember, the guys also get sexually abused, less so than women. And guys often, when they are sexually abused by a man, okay, and not so many times by a woman, okay, one thing. So when this thing happens to the guys, and also happens to women, that for them not to be attractive to the opposite sex, they often put on excesses amount of weight. Okay, so that in that excess amount of weight, it is that, well, nobody's now going to look at them for them and their body. They won't be attractive, because, you know, they won't be nice, slim and trim like that. They're now going to be round, and
So
if they
like a chocolate. They
Yes.
feel like a target, and that's why they need their protection.
Oh, exactly. Okay. And also the weight is the added protection. It is the fat cell. The fat cell is one of the strongest things that nature has given us to protect us. I mean, if you look at how the body is and how the body can withstand deep cold, if you've got enough protection. Okay, on that. So all of that is just this protection around it. It's a subconscious way to protect yourself from further abuse in some way. So that brings us to the end of this video. Now, before we finish, just look at that cushion and all of those things. And there is maybe a bit more that you that's watching this that actually can add to that. And if you come up with things that you want to add to it, please do add to it. Because in the next video, that is, we're now going to go through the process of cleansing this and dissolving this.
Mm-hmm.
So, Chanel, have you got anything to add to this before we close this session?
I'm so excited to share with us how we're going to get rid of all of this. And the best part is to understand where it comes from. And it's so relieving and so freeing, because you feel alone and you feel it's only you that go through this. Surprise. A lot of people do. So feel welcome and stay tuned, because I also just get rid of all of this, be you for you.
Exactly.
Definitely.
Okay. Thank you so much, Chanel. I shall see you in the next video.
Bye.